Hey
Hello.
y'all, I'm Tina.
And I'm Priscilla.
And we are the Sensei Sisters. Hey, we were pretty good with that. We're getting pretty in sync here, you know.
I always forget I'm supposed to say something else, and then I go, oh, wait.
Well, you did good today. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
High five. There you
See,
go.
I'm coachable.
You're coachable. That's what we're
extent.
talking about today. Are you
is it?
coachable?
I hope
You're
so.
surprised.
I hope so.
Yeah, so I told Priscilla that last Saturday we went to our district Toastmasters conference online, and one of the things that the keynote speaker asked is, are you coachable? And I jokingly put in the comments that I think I'm coachable, and he said, if you think you're coachable, you're probably not. You either know you're coachable or you're not. And what he meant by that is, if somebody is trying to give you feedback, are you willing to take that feedback and do something with it? Are you coachable, Priscilla?
To an extent, I think.
What's your limit? What are your limits? You let me coach
Well, I think one thing we were talking about this privately earlier, is that sometimes it depends on who's doing the coaching. Like, how much respect do you have for that person and their opinion on whatever the subject is? So, if somebody's trying to give you advice on how to deal with something in your life and they have no actual personal experience, it's really hard to take that advice.
you. Or if they have personal experience and you see them failing at it, right?
Yeah.
Like if, one of the things used to crack me up, well, you and I both know this. There are certain people who will tell you how to raise your kids and they've never had kids, I used to be one of those people, I have to say. I was terrible about that. I would say, oh, that mother should control her child. And I was not speaking from any experience because I had no children at the time. So that was wrong. I was wrong. Sorry, people, if I did y'all that. But the other thing is, it'll be people like, their kids will be running all over tearing something up, but they're telling you how to make your kids behave, right? Yeah, you've been there, right? And so it's hard to take coaching information from people that you see failing at doing what you were told, but what they're trying to coach you on, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So if they're trying to coach you on being a better parent and you see them failing miserably at parenthood, it's kind of hard to listen.
Yeah.
But Priscilla and I were talking about it, and I told her that after that whole event at the conference, or after that whole situation at the conference where I said that I think I'm coachable, I went and asked my husband, do you think I'm coachable? And he said, it depends on what it is. And he said, and it also depends on who is trying to coach you, because some people you're not willing to take advice from. And so we got into, we got into a conversation about that. And I was telling Priscilla that it is hard for me to listen to somebody that, like, for instance, if somebody's trying to coach me on my speaking, and I feel like I'm a much better speaker than them. Not that there are many people. I know there are a lot of people that are way better speakers than me, and I know that I am better than some people. But if somebody's like, they don't take their time to prepare, and they don't do a good job of speaking in general, if they tell me something, I'm a little hesitant to take it. But my husband had a piece of advice, and he said, and I thought it was really good advice. He said, the thing is, even if they suck at what they're trying to coach you on, at least listen to what they have to say, because sometimes people are better teachers than they are doers, right? We used to tease our mom because she was an art teacher, and we would say those who can do and those who can't teach, and she would get mad at us and throw things at us. It was just a little joke that we had. We're like, oh, Mom, you can actually do art. We thought you couldn't, because those who can do and those who can't teach. And that's not true at all, by the way. We know that because we're teachers, so we know that. But anyway, AJ's point was, sometimes people who can't do something well themselves are really good at telling other people how to do it. And so even though they're not doing a good job of it at themselves, sometimes they have valid points. And so I was telling Priscilla, I guess I need to be more open to listening to people and taking their feedback, and then you judge their feedback, right? Is this really something that would be helpful for me? If so, then I'll do it. And I had a situation where I got some feedback on a project I was working on, and I didn't necessarily think the feedback was valuable. So what I did was I went to someone else and said, this is the feedback I got, and I know you're familiar with my project as well. Can you please tell me, do you think this is a valid feedback? And that is helpful as well, because you can say,
a second opinion.
Yeah, it's a second opinion. And Priscilla and I do that sometimes. I'll say, so-and-so told me to do this about my weight loss or whatever. Do you think that's a good plan? Or do you think I should just pitch the whole idea? And so it's good to get that extra feedback. I like the second opinion thing.
Yeah.
Makes us sound like we're doctors or something.
Well, conversely, if you are a person who is supposed to be giving people an advice and you're struggling with the same thing you're trying to give advice on, that can be challenging.
That's a good thing.
That can be really challenging.
That's a good point. Yeah, excellent point.
Yeah, because like I have a whole page I have a group it's all about nutrition and fitness and everything, but I haven't stopped struggling with staying on top of that stuff. I'm not perfect, and sometimes I and that goes back to our whole thing about not getting down on yourself about things. Is, you know, if I'm having a hard time staying hydrated or whatever, and I'm preaching to everybody else to stay hydrated, that's bad on me. That looks bad on me, and I feel guilty, and then I'm like, maybe I'll just keep my mouth shut, you know. But at the same time, I want to encourage people to do the right thing for their health. So I have to kind of, you know, decide how I'm going to encourage people.
It's so funny because you're talking about the hydration thing. Because every time Mom starts to feel bad, I'm like, what am I going to tell you? I know I need to drink more water, and I'm terrible about drinking water. But I'm really good about giving advice to Mom to drink water.
It's that whole physician heal thyself thing, right? Mom used to say all the time.
Yep, that is true. And I'm good at telling other people how they should be organized, and right now I'm so disorganized, but I'll get back to organized.
She's way more organized than me. And she got a fancy new bathroom.
Oh, not quite yet, but we're getting there.
It's almost there. That looks nice. It's pretty.
Well, so you guys, that's our message for today. Think about whether or not you're coachable, and try to be coachable, even when the person that's coaching you is not somebody that you necessarily have a lot of respect for. Take their advice and then do with it what you please. If you really think on it and say, would this be a good idea, then consider it. And if not, don't use it, but don't be insulted by it either. Just toss it to the side. It's like when somebody gives you a bag of old clothes and they say, we think you might like these. Dig through it, pull out the ones you like, and give the rest to Goodwill.
That's a good analogy.
You like that? I knew you'd like that.
You have clothes for me?
No, I don't. I think I've already given you anything that I had. You know, I'm like right now limited on my clothes.
Yeah. Oh, well.
We need to go shopping. All right, guys. Well, until then, make yourself a priority.
Take care of you.
Bye.
Bye.